So we're gonna see how this does play out. It's tied up now 1-1. There we go. Swapping the names around. Spotting the bottom left corner of Daybreak. I give you the blue Terran Gumiho.
Nipper right as the red Zerg. It's Solar.
So I know there's a lot of points about like being overly critical of things, and this is not something I'm trying to chastise anybody about, but can we just take a moment and acknowledge how bad every Terran wall today has been?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's only been 2 Terrans that we've had to criticize, but yes.
It's like every time, it's like they get 99% done with the wall, and like, well, we'll leave a little path here, because maybe the Zerg won't find out about it. It'll be just for us.
Okay, that Ohana one was just a dick move by the map maker, okay? There is another map that does that, and I can't think of it right now. There's like some brush or whatever that you're not quite sure if it covers.
Oh, man, I know which one which map is that? I know what you're talking about. It's on the green maps, right? Like, I'm trying to remember, it's too long ago. I give up.
Yeah, that's a stretch. Anyways, the point is, you can't quite tell, and you forget about it too. Like if we're still on Ohana, what's in the map pool? What?
Whirlwind. It was Whirlwind.
Yes, 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 it was. Anyways, like you might remember if it was in the map pool, like for the year that it was, or whatever Ohana that is. But after so long, you might forget to check that. Send an SCV through, make sure it's a full wall and all that. It's disgusting.
Well, I guess it's so weird. Like, normally when we cast Terran players, guys, the question isn't even there. Like, is Gumiho going to play mech versus not, right? But it is kind of up in the air. And he's been doing lots of different styles today. And I actually really like this because it is quite terrible, not just from, like, a viewer standpoint, but from, like, a professional player standpoint, too. You don't want to be chastised and stigmatized into the same role. Everyone comes to expect what you do. I kind of made jokes about like 4GG pulling off the long con of like playing mech his whole life just so he could not play mech in the finals of like DreamHack. But I mean that's not really the case for anybody. So I do like that Gumiho is showing us that he hasn't just gotten stuck in his ways, and seeing Bio today has been pretty cool. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. Solar, notably getting gas, very important.
Yeah, that last game, man, I feel like that was one of those instances where maybe he had planned something else, but just totally forgot basic protection. I mean, it happens to Terran players oftentimes, when you're not remembering about the Oracle and things like that in TVP, but I kind of feel like it was that same affliction that just happened to Solar, where perhaps he didn't do that checklist of, oh, right, there's going to be Hellions, there's going to be Hellbats, there's going to be pressure. And while the Thor drops are cool, most of the time that's not viable because there's already Mutas in play at that point.
Yeah. Again, it could have been him just being really greedy, but it just seems like an odd choice to do against someone who isn't... I mean, he'll sort of 14cc every now and then, but Gumiho definitely likes to do those Hellbat pushes or the Marine drops or those 2-base into 3-base. He's not always like 3cc, 3cc, 3cc. It would just be an odd choice to play that greedy against him.
Well, Daybreak is one of the old school maps, guys, that did necessitate lots of long games. There were so many instances where you'd have the Broodlord standoff while the mech army's on the other half of these rocks. Nobody wants to tear down the debris. I mean, it's very possible, unlikely, but it's possible that we do see another map like, or another game like that. But as stated before, there is a very important outside factor. Solar either is incredibly tired or not, we don't know, but he did actually physically fall asleep during the semifinals, watching and waiting for the finals. So that is going to affect your mindset. You might be one of the best Zerg players in the world, but if you're half awake, you're also half-assing it.
Marine Hellbat on the way for Gumiho. Solar has no overlord position to scout this, really. Mori's all the way over to the left. Overlord, not so much.
Bringing up the Overlords, that's something I want to talk about here. We haven't seen a lot of players go out of their way to Overlord snipe in a while. There's the odd occasion on Overgrowth where someone will lift the racks up to see that Overlord near the natural or something, but for the most part, we don't see anyone hunt them down. Gumiho has been very diligent about that in this series, and I can't help but wonder if that's just because it's the old maps, or because he just knows it's a weakness of like all the Zerg players specifically he's been playing against today. Because like I'm pretty sure most pushes from all these games have like started with at least 1 or 2 Overlord kills.
So Solar didn't see the armory, but he did see the push out with that Overlord. Unfortunately, that armory is there, and they didn't earn the Hellbat. So if you can find a decent position, obviously Ling just will not help. Has to cancel that third.
Yeah. That is, by the way, got to be the weirdest, weakest, most deadly attack force. Like 2 Hellbats, 4 Marines. What's up?
Yeah. He had other Hellions. I guess he just stayed behind there, too afraid of counterattacks.
Yeah, with a couple links coming out as well, I can understand the thought process in that.
Yeah. +1 on the way, so it looks pretty damn similar to last game. Did that do more damage than the last games? No, he has queens. 2 queens versus a cancel.
Yeah, it does delay it though pretty heavily. Again, this wall a little bit funky at the moment. Does need to seal it.
Why the diagonalness of it?
I don't know, Zombie Grub. Even back when this was like a standard map, like this was even what the walls looked like, right? I understand not putting a bunker in there, fine. You can get away with that, but like, yeah, the angle of the depots, there's a lot of things that don't quite add up when it comes to looking at this stuff.
Oh, wait, I was gonna say maybe it wants to block it off with a command center, but that doesn't block it off either.
No, what is this command center placement too? Like, you put this inside the wall to keep it safe. Whatever. Let Gumiho do his own thing. We'll see if it brings him victory or not. We talked last about possible all-ins out of players. Now, I'm not saying that Solar making 20 links right now is going to be that all-in. In fact, this is a very necessary amount for a defense, but really, it depends on how well he handles this defense to gauge what he's got left over to go for a counterattack. And I think if he has got enough for a counterattack, we'll definitely see a counter, like a big counterattack. Hellion's got a sick positioning, yeah.
Yeah. Chance Forums uses the Bailings for him. Yeah, there we go.
I really like that he walked those into the heart of them instead of just A-moving. That would not have cleaned up all the Hellions had that been the case otherwise. But the wall off is complete, and that command center is such a weird spot. But Solar's got a hell of a lot of links, 26 more on the way. This is definitely him leaning towards that all-in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no Spire, no upgrade. Like, this is it. And I was just gonna say that Solar, I think he is tired, man. I don't know, like, how much of an opportunity did he really see? Is it because he killed all those Hellions that he's doing this, or is it because he really wants to just end the game without, you know, dragging it on? I don't know. He's gonna get more Hellions here, though, and that's fantastic, but it also buys time for Gumiho to get those tanks out and finish the command center. That could have been possibly canceled.
He morphed the wrong lings, I think. Like, it's the low lings that should have become the Bailings, not his full health ones. Some of these suckers are low. One good Hellbat Blast is gonna just finish off all the lings. But
yeah, tanks are just about out.
He's pulling the SCVs. I like these pulling the SCVs back. He's going for some extra walling in too. Takes that first supply depot. We're going to see here as the tanks protect the line. Everything's exploding, but can he get on top of the tanks? Can he get those Bailings to take down those depots? No, the depots survive, and Solar, well, he's got a lot more lings, but it's not going to do jack squat against these tanks.
Yeah. More Hellbats to be on the way. Blue Flame is about to finish. They have that upgrade as well.
Failed all-in is a failed all-in, no matter how you look at it, and Gumiho will take the game, giving him a 2-1 lead. But again, I want to stress, if you guys are just joining us, this is not your average best of 3. This is the best of 7